Hey, what's up, Geeks Under Grace? My name is Mike Pyatt, and I will be conducting this week's Ask GUG, or Ask GUG. Ask GUG. We got some good questions this week. So good, in fact, that I don't even feel I need to give a little background information on myself. The questions will reveal a little of that along the way. So with that being said, let's get to the first question. How do you come to meet God? Quick story. Southwest Washington, D.C. is where I actually grew up at. It was this family that lived across the alley from me. Like, our backyards were just separated by an alley. They invited me to church a couple of times over the years. First time I remember going was actually during VBS, and I remember having a good time. For some reason, I never went back there. I don't know why, I just never went back. Fast forward a couple of years to 2000. The neighbor across the street invited me to church one day to play football. I had a good time, and I just wanted to come back. So I'm going to church, I'm learning about God. We play football after church. All of this was just happening. I'm glad that I got introduced to God in that way, and I didn't have to go through any pain or suffering. I didn't really have any come to Jesus moment. I came to Jesus because I guess I was called. Next question, chicken or fish? I know people like, oh man, how they gonna ask that question? That's so unfair. I have no problem answering it. I know stereotypical people like, oh, he's black, he's like chicken. And those people are right. Yeah, I like chicken over fish. Sue me. I just enjoy it. I don't think it's because of the color of my skin, but if you want to believe that, hey, that's on you, man. I can't change you, but I just like chicken. Next question. Best Zelda game. Here's the truth. I only played one Zelda game my whole life. So by default, my best Zelda game is A Link to the Past on Super Nintendo. And I never beat it. I know, boo me, I suck. Okay, next question. It's actually two questions that I kind of combined into one. The first question was my favorite Lecrae song. The second question kind of took the first question to a higher level. And that question was, who are your 5 favorite artists and your favorite song from each artist? Man, that's a tough question. I have to put Lecrae in that list. Not because he's the most popular rapper right now, but he's a legit rapper. He's really good. He's really good. He's transcendent, I know. He sold a lot of records, I know, but even if you took away all that stuff, he's a legit good rapper. He knows his stuff. He knows how to perform. My favorite Lecrae song would have to be Beautiful Feet from the Rebel album, man. It was just a hard-hitting song. Okay, the next artist on my fave 5, I'm gonna go with Social Club, man. I can't have a top 5 list and not put Social Club in there, man. I know they're not one artist, they're a group, but I have to put them in there. I just like them because they're so cool, unorthodox in a way. They kind of think out the box. And even them as a group, they kind of counteract each other in a good way. Marty Marr is kind of silly, and Fern is serious business approach. But when you combine them, man, it's just a perfect balance of party and seriousness in a way. And my favorite song, it have to be Hawaiian Punch. I honestly don't know why the song is called Hawaiian Punch. I've been listening to it for years, and I still don't know why it's called Hawaiian Punch. If somebody can help me out with that, that'd be great. My third and my fave 5, I might have to go with Swoop. Yeah, he's a beast, man. He's a beast. There's not even much I can say about him. It's just one of those things, you gotta listen to him. A perfect example is his song, Dream Slave. Christian Grey is on the hook singing, and he comes on and he sings, to live is Christ, to die is gain. I ask myself, am I a slave? And it's just, the hook was just perfect. He sings it way better than me, trust me. Ironically, the song features my fourth on my fave 5, Eshon Burgundy. My favorite song for Eshon Burgundy is Close Your Eyes. That's the first Eshon Burgundy song that I ever heard. And he kind of had this little East Coast swagger to his rap. He's from Philadelphia, so I can like get down with that because I'm kind of East Coast myself, being from Washington, D.C. And it's just a certain lifestyle. Sort of like grimy, gritty, so like I could actually feel his raps. But Close Your Eyes, it was just a good introduction for me to Eshon Burgundy. I didn't even I knew he was a Christian rapper, but I couldn't believe it when I heard that song that this was a Christian rapper. Like he kind of like opened my eyes, even though the song was called Close Your Eyes. He kind of opened my eyes to just how wonderful Christian rap can be. And finally, my last fave 5, it gotta be Derek Minor, man. Reason being, he's just very talented, man. He can make the singles. He can make those songs that you hear on the radio. Matter of fact, his latest single from Empire is called Party People, and it actually features Social Club. And it's just such an upbeat song. It's just wonderful, man. The bass in the song is just banging. He's talking about diving off the stage like Macho Man, and it's just a funny song to listen to. But at the same time, he can also have serious songs, which brings me to my favorite song from him, Homecoming. It's on his album Minorville. And it's just about a young lady who's a homecoming queen and how tragedy struck. And, well, I wouldn't necessarily call it a tragedy, but I'm going to put these songs that I'm mentioning, I'm going to put them in the description. So hopefully you can listen to them so you can understand where I'm coming from with this song in particular, but also all the other songs that I mentioned. What is your favorite book in the Bible? My favorite book in the Bible is Luke. I like Luke. 2 reasons. Reason 1, Jesus fed the 5,000. I love that story so much. It just displays the power of Jesus to feed that many people with just 2 fish, 5 loaves of bread. I mean, come on, man. Like, that's the one thing about that story. It kind of like puts in perspective just how powerful Jesus is. Like, we wouldn't even think to ask that. We wouldn't even think to ask, oh man, we got these 5,000 people and we only have 2,000. I mean, we got these 5,000 people and we only have 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. Like, man, what are we going to do? They're following us and we got to feed them. And, like, we wouldn't even think the attempt to feed them. But Jesus being the Savior, Jesus being the Son of Man, he was like, oh, give me that. I'm going to break them off a little something. And I know earlier I said I like chicken over fish. But, man, if Jesus is feeding you some bread and fish, man, you better crush that joint. Like, and that's what they did. They crushed it. They enjoyed it. They had leftovers. Like, seriously, they had leftovers. So that was one of the reasons I like Luke. Another reason I like Luke is because of Zacchaeus and the fig tree, man. That story, I first heard about it in a rap song, Christian rap song. It was a song called See More of Him by Flame. And the hook goes, I want to see more of him because I'm sick of more of me. Want to be like Zacchaeus in that sycamore tree. Yeah, that song like made me think, like, man, who is this Zacchaeus was talking about? Because I never heard of the story before. So I found it in Luke, and it's talking about Zacchaeus and how he wanted to see Jesus, and he like climbed a tree. And I think that's the approach that we need to take. When we need Jesus, we need to have that attitude of going by any means necessary to see him, to be with him. He was a short little dude, he couldn't see, so he climbed a tree because he was that desperate to see the risen Savior. Well, at the time he wasn't risen yet, but you know what I mean. So yeah, that's my favorite book in the Bible, Luke, man. I mean, I love James too. Of course, Proverbs. I love the stories. I love the Genesis, the creation story. Yeah, give me Luke, man. That's my favorite book. I can just read that for days, man, and just constantly keep learning stuff from it. Next question, and I kind of wanted to save this question for last because I really kind of wanted to get into it. The question is a question that I ask myself a lot: is how do we integrate music into teaching? How can we stop the youth from listening to bad songs? This question, it hits me hard, man. It hits me hard. Growing up, I listened to rap, constant rap. Now that I think about it, the lyrics were just awful, man. They talked about weed, they talk about girls, women, cars, and I'm young and I'm just eating these lyrics up, man. Yeah, to answer the question, it's just really something we want to have to continue to pray on, because I honestly have no question. I have no answer for this question. The best I can do for you is just give you sort of my story on how I dealt with this area. Yeah, like I said, I listened to rap back in the day with the dirty lyrics and whatnot. And it wasn't until I accepted Christ that I began to think about, well, maybe I shouldn't be listening to this stuff. Even without the curse words, there was still some bad things in the song. So over time, I just basically kind of shift away from the secular rap into the Christian rap. And thank God the Christian rap got better, because in 2000 when I first got saved, it wasn't that good, to be honest with you. I mean, I still listen to some people Cross Movements and Grape Tree Records with this rapper by the name of Prime Minister, and they were okay, but they weren't oh wow, well, actually Cross Movements kind of was wow, but yeah, it just got to the point where I can't stomach secular rap. I actually was on YouTube and I happened to click on a video, a secular rap video. They were at a concert or something, and I wanted to hear the song to see how it sounded. And when they got to rapping, it was just I was literally just disgusted by the lyrics. So yeah, and as far as the youth, I mean, it's just something that we're gonna have to continue to teach them. Because I think not only the youth, but I think just people in general just don't understand just how impactful music can be. And if you're listening to some things that aren't good, it might can mess you up a little bit. Let's say you're coming from the streets, you had a life of drug dealing and whatnot, and you're trying to find God, but you keep listening to these songs that are talking about your past life. That's kind of counteractive if you want to think about it that way. And as far as the youth, I mean, like I said, this is a question that I ask myself. I don't want them listening to that music because I know what it can do to them, and it just sucks because I struggle with ways to get them to stop. So I guess my answer would just be to pray about it and just continue to educate them on just how powerful music is, and hopefully they'll start to listen to us when we tell them these things, because it's not good to keep listening to that stuff. Even as an adult, I don't like it. Well, that's it for this week's Ask GUG. Ask GUG. Ask GUG. Ask GUG. All right.